Okay then, hello everybody, I am Ramadi, and welcome back today to our elevator tutorial. We are on part 3. I think this will be the last part. I think we can get the rest of it done in here. Um, as you remember from last time, we have now built the belt. We have run the up circuit, which is the orange, the down circuit, which is yellow, and we have added the engine to the elevator back here. This is just our binary engine on the back. Very close to being done now. What we have left to do is to run the output from the engine into the elevator, and then we need to do the up and down control switches so that if you have a one floor model, that the buttons will appropriately control the elevator and not break it. And then just a little bit of aesthetic work here on the front then. So yeah, let's get going. Right then, the first thing I think we want to do is we're going to troubleshoot the elevator, make sure we have built everything appropriately. And to do that, we need a little bit of signal. So we are going to take our signal here in blue wool. You're going to take it off of this little portion right here. This is going to carry with it a single tick pulse, and it is only going to tick when the rest of the engine is running. So this is a very good place to pull signal. We do that just like this. Just for a little measure of control, we're going to add a repeater there. One tick on the repeater to preserve our one tick pulse. So there is the up circuit done, very simple. We are now going to take the yellow circuit over here, same as the other side, repeater here, a little bit of redstone, just like that. And now we have up and down run. So obviously we don't want these running together, so for right now we're going to break one side. The elevator is at the bottom. We want it to run up, and you can find that the orange is the up signal right here. So yeah, that's what we want. We want to break the signal to the down elevator, so we'll just remove that little piece of redstone there. And now one last little thing that we want to be aware of. The pistons that are going to push up and down, we want them to have blocks underneath of them. And then the pistons that go left and right first, we want them to not have any blocks. So I'm going to fix that here real fast, just like that. And yeah, we should be good to go. So I think let's go ahead and give her a little test. And there she goes. Seems like it's going to work okay. Let's watch where it's going to stop. That's what we're really troubleshooting here more than anything else. Stops right there. So that's a little bit too high. You can't have a nice, clean, flush portion here on the top with it stopping there, but that's okay. Now let's go ahead and troubleshoot the downside. So we will connect the yellow and break the orange and give her a go. And on its way back down. This is good. So the elevator seems like it's going to work. We have done our job right. Very nice. And so this actually stopped a little short of the bottom here, so this is no big deal. Ideally, when we start doing some aesthetic type work, you know, you can do this with anything. I'm going to use some iron blocks for right now. I like the look of iron. So this right here then is going to be our ground floor. And here in a little bit, we will go ahead and drop this circuit down and this circuit down just a little bit. But for right now, you know, this is going to be our ground floor. So we want the elevator to stop on our ground floor. And right now it's just a little bit high. So we are going to fix that just like this. And, you know, I think while we're at it, why don't we just go ahead and build our cart? You know, that may be a good thing to do. Again, you do not have to use what I do here. I like a little bit of glowstone so that the cart will always have a nice look to it. You can use fence gates. You can also use trapdoors. It does not matter. For the one floor, I actually don't have any trapdoors. For the one floor, I actually do prefer the trapdoor look, but I am certainly not going to be picky about it. So there we go. There's our cart done. And now, you know, what we're eventually going to do is build around the sides just like that all the way to the top. So your elevator will be encased, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Let's run this one more time then. Let's make sure that that cart is going to stop where we want it to start up on the top. And so now if you were inside the elevator, you'd be traveling up. Kind of cool. And it should stop right there. I like it. Very nice. So now on the top, you know, we're going to have a nice flush ceiling. And this right here is then going to be our floor, just like that. I like it very much. Let's run this down. Let's make sure this is going to run down and stop just where we want it to. And there we go. And it should stop right on a dime down here. One more, I think. There we go. Outstanding. Happy with that. Okay, the majority of the elevator is actually now done. There's a couple very simple things that we are going to do. And, you know, I think I will do these on camera. A lot of times it seems like you get redstoners who will go off camera to do a lot of these things. I'm just going to go ahead and do it here. If you want to speed past this part of the video, you certainly can. Use some of our new coal blocks. I like those. I think they're a pretty neat look. And then eventually we're going to want my blue wool back, so we will do this. Get my light blue again. I guess I did not do that very well. We want a button right here. So this will be our button that controls for the top part anyway. And what we're going to do with that button right there is we're just going to stick a torch right on the back. So now when I flip that button, my torch is going to turn off. And we're going to build essentially the same setup down here on the bottom. And first what I want to do is I want to go ahead and drop some of this orange right here. So we are going to carry this signal down one more, I think. So we'll break these, break that. And then just for the sake of consistency here, we'll stick some orange wool right there. We're going to then use repeaters to power that wool, and they will take signal from right there. So repeaters power the blocks below, which power the piston, and that is how we drop that signal right there. Now I have noticed right here we're going to have a little bit of an issue, but that's okay. It's an easy fix. Now we'll break some of this right here, I think. Just like that. And now this is going to be essentially the same concept. We will take a little yellow wool, not a fence gate, and run it right here. Now this is where we're going to run into that issue. Conveniently, there is an easy fix if we use a half slab, because that's going to allow signal to continue down. And now a little bit of yellow wool here. And there's actually a very easy fix for. Again, maybe a little bit of a Minecraft hack, but we're going to put a block right on the corner there, so it's still going to act as part of our floor, but the repeater here is then going to power that block, which will power the redstone right beneath it. We need a repeater here, and now we need repeaters into those pistons. And there we have it, done. Now we can fill in the rest of our floor, just like that. And then over here on this side, obviously, we would be able to hide our repeaters just like that. So here on this side then, we want to do something similar to what we did a moment ago up top. Take our coal blocks and just like this. Now, you know, you don't have to do this. Again, degrees of freedom here are pretty large. Button in the middle and redstone torch on the back. So there we go. We will then control our lines using these things right here. And I will come back and we will run our control line. Okay then, let's get control lines run. These are actually very simple. This button here is the input for the circuit. So we are just going to run signal into that green block. I'm just going to use some white wool here to represent. This obviously needs to come back here to where our buttons are going to be. And what we can do with this is we can add some delay in the line here. You do not have to do it with repeaters. Repeaters on a single tick. You can, you know, add a bunch of tick here if you want. But this is just a way to delay when we push the button how long, until this is going to run. And that, of course, affects us being able to actually get in the elevator. So, if you want to add maybe a second here of delay, that'll do fine. That'll allow you to get in the elevator comfortably and right up. So, yeah, pretty easy. This torch up here is very simple to do. Obviously, it just runs out and then down, and there we are. We're done. This, because it's always on, will need to be inverted, and we do that just like this. And now, when you push the button, this torch will flip on and power out our repeater line here. Torch on the bottom, also very simple, only slightly more complicated. We're just going to daisy chain some torches together, and we do that just like this. And now, conveniently, as I fall to my death, this in here at the top is already off. So we can just use this block right here and then a repeater facing out like that. Now, when we push the button on top, this torch inverts and will power everything. And then on bottom, when we push that one, this torch here will then power this block, which then catches the repeater and obviously powers the rest of our line. So there we go, done. We now have that built. For a little demonstration, we are at the bottom of this thing, so we want to run up. That is the orange line. And now it doesn't matter where I'm at. If I am up here, I can now push the button, and it will still activate everything from the bottom to run up. So there we go, very easy. So the only thing left to do then is to add a little bit of control for the circuits here. And we are going to do that using some pistons and also some clever work here on the back of the belt. I don't think I need to cut away. We can just get into that right now, I guess. So the elevator, when it's at the top, we want to pick a portion of the belt that will be down here below the blue wool, and we're then going to replace it just with an arbitrary color. I think for right now we'll just use pink. We haven't used a lot of pink so far. And what we're going to do with this is we are going to have a circuit that is constantly going to be powered, just like this. So what we've basically done is we have powered this block right there, and we now have the ability to read that block like this using a repeater. So there you go. We can now read through this, and if we go ahead and replace portions of the belt here with glass, then as the elevator moves, that signal is not going to be carried, and we're going to do that all the way along here on the top until we get to our glowstone. So there we go. Now as we run the elevator down, this piece right here is then going to move up, and down here on the bottom, if we also go ahead and replace with glass down here, then that is not going to read out the front, and we're going to have a signal that is interrupted. And that's very handy because this will allow us to control which direction the elevator is going to travel. So we'll go up here just like that, just like that, just like that. So all I did is just replace the entire elevator belt from black wool into glass. And now if we break the up line and we now allow the elevator to run down, what we're going to see happen through our circuit here is the repeater on this side is now going to flip off as glass does not carry that signal. And it will continue to act that way. So now that we have reached the bottom here, what we want to do is come down here and do something very similar to this. We are just going to build a little bit of a reed here with the elevator. Don't like that. I don't like that changing. I'm not sure why that happened. But yeah, we'll come out and we will do the same thing here. There's our repeater, and now we're reading. So we're going to do one more little test on this thing. We're going to let the elevator run up again. And just make sure that these are not going to overlap each other, which they should not. There we go, and this one now flips on. So yep, there we go. What we want to do from here is we're going to build a little bit of a memory latch called an RS NOR latch here at the back. So yeah, we'll be right back and do that. Right then, here we go. The very first thing we're going to do is you want to come back here to the back of your elevator, and we're going to go ahead and break this little line that we just ran over here. This was really just to kind of troubleshoot the elevator movement, so we don't need it. We still want to read out that side, so we are going to leave that here. What we're really going to do is we're going to build a way that a piston can interrupt different portions of our signal here. So when you run redstone line just like this and then put a block on top, this will interrupt your redstone. Well, if we use that property with a sticky piston, then we get something like this right here. So right now, you know, this is going to allow the line to run. And when I put a torch here, now this interrupts our line. So we want to take pistons like that and have them operate in separate intervals. And then we're going to come over here to the other side and do essentially the same thing as we just did there. We're just going to drop this just like that. And then obviously this will be redstone into repeater. Redstone, redstone, redstone. And we will do the same thing on this side, just like this. A little bit of sticky piston. There it is. So right now we would be running the elevator down, and now this is not going to run at all. So what we need then is a memory latch here on the back that is going to remember where the elevator is, whether it's at the top or if it's going to be on the bottom of this thing. And we're going to use this reading of the back of the glass here, back of the belt here, to do that for us. If you are familiar with CNB Minecraft at all, then you are going to be very familiar with the NOR latch that we are going to build here in the back. So we're just going to go 2 down, third one here, a little bit of redstone, and torch in front of that. And then below that torch, we're going to go down, 2 down, just like this. A little redstone here. I think I'm too close, aren't I? Too close? I agree with you. I think I'm too close. Maybe not. Was I right the first time? I was right the first time. Should have listened to myself. Redstone torch. So you can see that when this is on, now this is off. We'll come here, block there, and then come up one, and we can cut that one out as well. Into a repeater, and redstone then on the back of that block there. So if I break this, we're going to flip it around, and if I break that, we're going to flip it again. So what we want then is the piston right here that's going to run the down circuit. We need to wire it for when the elevator's at the top. You know, we want this to go down. So elevator, when it's at the top of this, ideally we want this redstone on this side to be on to make it nice and easy to get to this piston here. So we'll just carry this down a little bit. We are going to use the same little technique that we did a little bit ago with torches. So torch here on top is piston on, and now piston off. Easy enough. And all we want to do is we want to link from right here into that torch. And we do that just like this. A little bit of redstone. So there we go. Elevator is now at the top of this thing, right there. And we have the up circuit interrupted so that the down circuit will run. So what we want then is when the elevator is at the top, we want this right here to read, since it just flipped on, and we want it to then power um, this little bit of redstone right here and then flip that torch off. And we can actually do this a little different fashion if we wanted to. We can run this here and then interrupt that signal. This is not going to affect that torch at all, but we don't want these to crosstalk. Crosstalk, generally speaking, is not a good idea. So then we'll do this here and bring it one over and then bring it down. So this is very simple. A little bit of redstone, a little bit of redstone. So there we go. We have that now inverted, and everything looks like it's going well. So if we actually go out and run the elevator, we are going to allow this to run down. It should go down. There it goes. Very nice. So now when we get to the bottom here, what we really want this guy to do is we now want this to come up here and invert the torches again. And we do that by putting some power right there. So this repeater powers block, powers dust, and now that will power our torch. And you can see we've now flipped our piston. This piston is now off, allowing us to run up. Elevators at the bottom. It's very good. But we still need to have this piston extend, and we're going to do very much the same thing here. We're going to bring this down a little bit, I think. Just like this. Torch there, interrupted, inverted the signal. And now all we need to do again is run this, which is our output here, over and into our torch. Do that just like this. So now we have that extended, and the elevator itself is now going to run down. So we will, or I'm sorry, going to run up. So we will go test, and let's see how we did. There we go. So by and large, I think we are now done. We have pistons that are going to operate themselves depending on where the elevator's at. So if you're at the bottom of this thing and you need to call the elevator, all you have to do, push the button, and the elevator will go ahead and come down for you. I did get a comment about, is an 8-story or an 8-block elevator really all that practical? Well, maybe that's true. Maybe you just want to build something cool for your friends here, show off your redstone skills. No, this is not the most compact. It's not the cheapest. What I wanted was something that was reliable. And what I wanted is something that is not going to break in a survival multiplayer setting with lag, and that's what we have here. And by and large, this is generally pretty idiot-proof, I think. So yeah, there it is. Our elevator is now done. I'm going to add a little aesthetics to it, and I will be back in just a moment. Alrighty then, we are back here. You see I've added some iron blocks here at the front. I have let it go ahead and run into night. Bye-bye, sun. Just because this thing, I think, looks pretty cool at night when you see all of the redstone lighting up. So I'll go ahead and run this thing a couple times for you guys. There we go. You don't see a whole lot of the car out here just because it is enclosed now. But we're going to watch everything work back here. All this hard work that we've done. Pistons flip. We'll go ahead and run it down. I do hope you enjoyed the tutorial. This is my first full-scale tutorial, so I hope I did all right. If you have any comments, suggestions, things that you want to see, certainly leave them in the comments. Give me a subscribe, add a little like to the video if you enjoyed what you saw. It's very helpful. I do have some future projects that are coming up. I'll show you a little sneak peek of those over here, I think. I told you I wasn't going to do a melon farm, and I actually do have a melon farm that I made. It's not, I don't think, unique or anything, but it is kind of nice, very compact, only one wide. Does use a button, very efficient. I think it's about 95% efficient, so I do like that. This was a little project to get the cart to move in the elevator. That is the restriction on the level elevator there, the one level. You cannot run any further because of the piston movement. So what this thing over here is going to do is allow us to shift the cart a little bit, and that's how we'll get it to run. and that works a little bit just like that. There it goes. And now conveniently we don't have to have it retract when we run it the other way. It goes ahead and it moves it for us. So that's how we're going to move the cart around. And then the wiring, as you can tell, is going to get a little more complex on the big elevator, but it's not going to be too terrible, I don't think. So we will revisit this. This is going to be the next project. I think we're going to make a 10-floor model. It should be a lot of fun. So yeah, get on